Yo, what's good, family? Happy Thursday, man. We're here, and I need you guys to be very clear that I am not going to go over the questions. I'm just going to do several examples from, different using. We're learning about binomials, okay? And I'm going to show you using the FOIL method how to solve the binomials. So these examples that I'm showing are not the questions, okay? So I want you to think about everything that we're going to do here and follow it to a T. I promise you. Did I ask you guys how you were doing? Okay. I promise you that you're going to love this. I love this math, like binomials, trinomials, and factoring. Man, it's algebra. Like, you might not get to this until you get to ninth grade, but I just wanted to show you guys this right now, man. It's super fun. It's super easy. It's super engaging. And we're going to use the FOIL method. Okay, FOIL stands for first, right? First, outer, and then inner, and then last. Okay? First, outer, inner, last. That's what FOIL stands for, and that is what you use to solve a binomial or a trinomial. Okay? And so, in this first example, right, I need you to take notes because, like I said, I'm not going to go over those questions in this video. Okay, I'm just going to teach you how to do it. All right, so when I say first, that means, right, you have this x right here. So this first is going to times it by this, because notice here, this means multiplication. So x times x is going to be x squared. But remember, on the computer, because I can't get the little squared, it's going to look like this. So x, and then this symbol, and then, so this is the same. This is the same as this, okay? Just written out on the computer. So this is the real life version. This is what it looks like on the computer. So x times x is x squared, right? And then we're going to go back still first. And we're going to check out the outer now, because this is the outer. This is the outer, sorry. This is the outer. So we had first right here, and then this first number or first letter, whatever it might be, the first variable, first coefficient, whatever, is going to times it by this, and then you're going to take that again and times it by that. So we have, essentially, it's going to look like this. Let's just bring it down a little bit. X squared, because x times x is x squared. Just like x plus x is 2x. X times x, or a variable times a variable, is always that variable squared. Okay? And I'll give another example in just a moment. So x squared, and then this is now going to be 2 times x. Remember, like we did before, this is like saying it's 1, right? Remember that? So now you have 1x times 2 is going to become positive 2x. Okay, so we know how to do that because you learned that earlier. So x times 2 is 2x. Okay? Now, we're going to go here to the inner. This is the inner. So you take this inside number and times it by the first digit. 3 times x now becomes positive 3x. Okay? 3 times x is now positive 3x. Now I'm going to do the last. Now we know that 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, notice that my signs, right? Remember we learned, and this is why it's so important to pay attention, because math builds on each other. Like, if you know how to do a negative times a negative becomes a positive, you're going to have to recall this, right? You're going to have to recall that information when you do this type of algebra. All right. So now I'm just going to add these things up because like terms, right? Like terms, x and x is like terms. Okay. So this comes down because there's nothing with it. That's going to be x squared. Keep the sign plus, and that's going to be 6x and then plus 6. Okay. All right. So typically, whatever is right here is going to be squared. X and x becomes x squared. On the computer is going to look like this. You just select the answer that looks like whatever that is, right? And then 2x, and then 3x, and then 6, okay? So let's take a look at another example, all right? Another example of this, because I'm just going to do a few more examples so you guys can really understand. And again, watch this video as many times as you need to so you can really understand what you're being asked to do, because you're going to see this again in your math life when you get to 8th grade potentially. Some of you, my challenge scholars are going to be doing this next year potentially, or the year after when you're in 8th grade. So don't run away from the challenge, all right? All right, so again, first, okay, and then outer, and then inner, and then last. I guarantee you, if you write it out like this and you do it, you're gonna be perfect. Okay? So x times x, right? Because again, this is positive because there's no negative on the inside of it. So x times x is x squared, and it's the same thing as this, x squared. Okay? Oops, I wrote the same thing, my bad, with that little thing right there, that little symbol on the computer. Okay, I'm gonna rewrite it like this on the computer. Okay, is the same thing. These are the same. This is the same thing. Okay, all right, they're the same thing. Now x times 2, just like we did before, is positive 2x. Positive 2x, because both numbers are positive, right? And now we're going to the inner, but notice that this negative is next to the 6, so it's associated with the 6. So negative 6x, right? Because 6 times x is 6x, so we put that under here, negative 6x, negative 6x, and then we have negative 6 times 2 is going to be negative 12. Okay? All stuff you've learned before. So don't get all freaked out when you see this and you're like, I don't know what to do. That's crap. You are super intelligent, super scholastic. There you go. Right? So you could do it. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to bring this down because this is x to the second power, or x squared. And then now, since my signs are different, right? Remember we learned that when the signs are different, you have to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number, right? So that's going to be negative 4x, and then we bring down the minus 12. Okay? Super duper fun, engaging, challenging. All right, let's see here. Nope. I'm looking for another example. Okay, maybe this one. Maybe this one. All right. So let's take a look at right here. So this one is 3x minus y. Okay. All right. Something's telling me to just, but I'm not going to tell you guys the answers though, okay? I'm just going to walk you through the steps because I really want you to get this. Like, this is, this is your math future. Undeniably, you're going to have to do this in your math future, okay? All right. So remember, right here, you have 3x and then x. So again, and I want to see you when you do your scratch paper, right? I want you to make sure that you are doing it just like this, okay? And then you have this, and then you have this, okay? So first we're going to do 3x times x, and that's just going to simply be 3x squared, or on a computer it'll look like this: 3 little symbol, or sorry, x and then a little symbol and then squared. Okay? Focus. All right, so I'm going to rewrite it like you would see it on the computer. 3x little symbol 2. Okay? All right, now we're going to do 3x times 2y. Yes, in an algebra, you could do that. You could take 3x and times it by 2y, and it'll simply be positive 6xy. All I did was multiply. 3 times 2 gave me 6, and then I kept my x and my y together because there's nothing to it. It's just like ones next to it. Okay? That's why it didn't change. All right? Now, we have a negative y times x. And since the signs are different, you multiply a negative times a positive and you get a negative. So that's going to become, and if you want, you can make a 1 next to it if you want. It really doesn't matter, but if you want to put a 1 next to it, you can. 1xy. It is the same thing as xy, okay? It will be the same thing as this. These are the same. This is the same as that, okay? So don't trip. You got this. And you're probably saying, well, why is the y was first here and then the x was second? Because remember I told you in algebraic statements, it's always in alphabetical order. You don't go out of order. You go in the order of the alphabet. So that's why it's x before y. Okay? All right, and now this last one, because it's negative, like negative 1 times 2 is going to be a negative 2. But what do we have to do with our y's? The same thing we did with our x. Okay, hopefully you guys said squared. All right, so we have negative 2xy, and then the y's are squared because we have 2 y's. Okay, now we're just going to bring this guy down because he's lonely. So we have 3x, the little symbol 2. Right here we're going to subtract because the 6 is bigger than the 1. So we're going to subtract, and that's going to be positive 5xy. And then right here, bring this guy down because he's lonely, 2xy squared. And we're done. We have just found the product of this binomial, and we can't do anything with it. This is our final answer. Okay? We can't do anything else with it. All right? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the page. Okay? Because again, all of these were examples. They were not a part of the questions. So I'm going to go back to the questions. All right, just give me 1 second. Oh, look at my lovely bracelets that I've had on my wrist for several years. All right, so I'm going to go back to that. And this right here, this picture, is the same thing that I did. You see the red and the green line, and then the blue line and the brown line is first, and then it went to red, and that became the outer, and then it went to the blue, inner, and then it went to the brown for the last. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and work on these last. I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to write it out, and I'm not going to give you the answer because I want you to do it. This is super awesome. I love these types of problems in math. Okay? And besides, you could say, my teacher taught me that. Okay? All right, so again, right here, this is going to be this. Remember? Okay, this is number 1. All right, and then we're going here. All right? Okay, I got it. I'm not going to solve it. So right here, we know that 2x times x is going to be 2x, and then the little symbol with the 2. Okay? And then right here, actually, we have 2x, and then this right here is going to be plus 11. Plus 11 what? X. Okay? And then right here, this is going to be negative 6x. I'm not going to solve it because I can hear some of y'all watching it saying, I thought you weren't going to solve it. I'm not. Okay? Right? The rest is up to you. Okay? You got this. All right, that's number 1. Number 2. All right, number 2. 3x minus 5, and then x minus 10. All right? So again, 3x and x is 3x, little symbol, squared. And that's going to be negative 30x, right? And this is going to be negative 5x. And then a negative times a positive is, I'm sorry, a negative times a negative is a positive 50. All right, I'm not going to tell you what it is, okay? You have to solve it yourself. Remember what you do when you see two negatives that you're adding. Well, I just told you. Shut your mouth, Mr. B. Okay, number 3. Number 3. 3x. Come on, you guys got this. You guys got this. I believe in you, man. I miss you guys so much. All right, so 3x and 3x, we just did that already, so we know it's going to be 3x, and then the little symbol in the 2, which means it's to the second power, right? And then we do plus 21x, and then right here is going to be negative 6x, and then here negative 42, right? Because negative times a positive. And then remember what you got to do right here in the middle. Okay? All right. Number 4. Now, if you guys don't watch the video, if nobody watches the video, you're screwed. Okay? But somebody's watching it. At least one of you guys are. And thank you for that view. Thank you for supporting yourself and your learning and getting better every day. All right. So here we have negative times a, positive times a negative. That's going to be negative 5x squared. And then positive 10x. Right here, negative times a negative is a positive. So you're going to have positive 5x. And then minus 10. Okay? So remember, right here, negative times a positive is a negative. Oopsies. Negative times a positive is a negative. Negative times a negative is a positive. Okay? All right? Wait. Let me double check that real quick. So this is negative 5x squared, and then this is 10x. And then this one is 5x. So did I leave something out? Okay, that'll be fixed. That'll be fixed. No worries. I got you. I got you. All right, last question. There's only 5 questions, you guys. Number 5. Only 5. Right? And then there's some, kind of like survey type questions that I want you guys to answer too. But we're done. We're done right here. All right, let's go ahead and get this one out the way. X plus 12y. And then x minus 6y. Okay? X and x is x squared. This is really similar to what we just did, the last example. And then we have 12y, right? Nope. And minus 6y. And then right here we have plus 12 xy. Nope, my bad. There we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. And then over here, we're going to have negative 72 y squared. Okay? And we're done. All right? So again, all of these number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, I want you to do yourself. Do them on your own. Okay? Look at the video as much as you need to. And tomorrow's work is going to be really similar to this, okay? Really similar. So 5 questions and then 5 questions that you just kind of answer, or maybe 2 or 3, I don't know. But just answer those questions truthfully and honestly. And remember that you're awesome. I believe in you. And I miss you. And I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.